What is up, gym fans? It is the week of January 12th. I'm Patricia.
And I'm Carissa.
And I just dropped my cord. This is Decoded.
Woo!
Yay! Okay, it's dark. That's why we both look like we're on like a spotlight. And I am like, I guess maybe getting sick. I don't know. I sound kind of rough. So that's a new development today. But it aligns with the week I've had. So so
one of those weeks.
Carissa is going to dinner with her aunt and uncle in a bit, so we're gonna crank through this episode and do all the things in a reasonable amount of time. So let's start out with our sticks and wobbles. So Carissa, what is your wobble of the week?
That I just had to pay $500 to get a new tire and oil changed for a car I'm trying to sell.
That's rough. Well, hey, it should in the long run pay off, right?
Truly. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
So it's a wobble that could turn into a stick.
Yes, exactly. What's yours?
I don't know. Life is just lifing. There's like so much stuff happening in my life. And yeah, it's all too personal to share. So life is just life.
Don't love that, but understand that.
But, you know, there's a lot of bright sides. So maybe like more than anything, I just really want my stomach pain to go away. I've started drinking aloe, which you can do. And it literally tastes like water. But anyways, that's what the doctor recommended. And then I'm supposed to be on a bland diet, which I'm working on. My bland diet still includes coffee because I would die. But if the pain keeps coming back, I'm gonna have to cut coffee too. So we'll see.
So they don't think it's celiac?
Well, you can't. So I think part of the reason is celiac, but because of the way my immune system and like my body reacts to stuff. But that being said, you can only test for celiac through like a blood test. That's the most common way after you basically eat a heavy gluten diet for a month. And I am absolutely not putting myself through that pain.
Yeah.
Or you can do like a scope. So at some point they might like try to do that and see what's up. But then also like you need to do the scope after you've also eaten that diet because it inflames your like system and they can see that.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. My guess based off of my conversation with my doctors, it's gastritis. So don't really know how I even came about that, but I have obviously very sensitive system. So just keep me in your
second. My cat is freaking being Explorer Joe right now.
Okay.
Dude, you never do this. Get down. Oh my gosh. Sauce, what the heck? Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I will be keeping you in my prayers. You get answers.
Please be thinking of me. Please, all the things because it sucks. And I don't know if I've disclosed this on the podcast before, but my father had colon cancer, so I'm like I'm stressy, like panicky.
You've never actually even told me that.
Oh, I thought I had told you that, but both my dads. I have two dads. It's a complicated story, but they're not together. But that to be said, it's like always
she has two dads that are separate. She also has a mom.
I also have a mother and a stepmother. But anyways, that being said, they both have had cancer, but the one that I'm biologically related to had colon cancer and had surgery and all the things. I think it was like, I don't know, stage 2, stage 3. But he's fine. He's alive. My doctor asked me about it. He was my doctor the other day when I saw her was like, check for that? She was like, oh, like, yeah, with like all your stomach issues, like we want to, make sure we're like checking this stuff and be really careful. And I don't want to like, blow it off because of your family's history of cancer. And then she was just like, I was just like, yeah, I mean, like my dad's stuff like that definitely concerns me. And she was just like, your dad, is he okay? And she was basically asking me if he was dead.
If he's alive.
And I was like, he's very much alive. He's he had surgery and he's been like cancer free for almost a decade. So still sucks. But
yeah.
So,
dang.
All that to be said, yeah, I'm. What's the word when you like freak out over things? Just I freak out over things. So
Hypochondriac?
I'm a hypochondriac in some regards.
Yeah.
So I just like feel
I
a
think we
pain.
all are a little bit, especially with like how much information we are all consuming all day long.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
definitely
hard.
not how it's meant to be.
But what's your
Hopefully they
stick?
figure it out.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. My stick is that I got a job with healthcare.
Yes.
I know.
A moment for Carissa. She's moving to New York.
I'm moving to New York, my home, where I've always said I'm destined to be. I'm finally doing it. I'm actually doing it in 2 days. Officially. I will be couch surfing for 2 weeks until I find an apartment. Shout out my best friends. Thank God I have a village. And yeah, I'm really excited, but obviously I'm going to stick with gym now. My tried and true for the last like 3-4 years.
We've been
I'll
with
be
her
here
through a couple
forever.
jobs now.
Yeah. Yeah. What does that say about me? No, I'm kidding.
she'll be with us for the long term.
Yes, I will.
We might even see her in New York because Johnny
Yeah.
and me and Henry are going up to New York for me to cover the Winter Olympics with BC, and I'm hoping that I might get a day off towards the end after figure skating is over and can go and see Carissa.
Yeah. And then my parents are going to take me and my brother on a date.
Yay!
I haven't met Henry yet. I'm so excited.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were saying your parents are going to take you and your brother on a date, and I was
No,
just like,
you guys are my parents and Henry's my brother.
Oh, yes. I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got the job and Johnny was already trying to help me figure out where to live.
Yep. Johnny was like on Airbnb, like, where can we get Carissa
stay
a house?
here. I was like, thank
And
God.
he was like, this is a safe space. This is a good spot for her potentially, temporarily and stuff.
It was actually so sweet. I cried. Grateful to have good parents.
We love you.
I love you.
But that's a good moment to mention that
Yeah.
we are going to go through a little bit of a change for the Decoded Pod.
Yes.
With Carissa's getting settled in New York, and me covering the Olympics coming up. We are actually going to go to every other week for the show for now. And yeah, basically just nothing else will change. We'll just go to every other week, and hopefully, especially, we'll have some really solid, great news items to bring you with that change versus sometimes some weeks we're reaching. We're not reaching this week. But
not this week. But
so that's for right now. We don't have an end date, or we don't have a date when we might go back to every other week, but just for the longevity of the show and to make sure that we can, like, Carissa doesn't get burnt out and I don't lose my mind and stuff, we're just going to make this change for now. And then hopefully sometime in the near future, we will be able to go back to a weekly cadence once Carissa is settled and I'm home and all the things. So
all the things. Yes. Love.
But it'll be good. So let's get to our top 10.
Wait, what about your stick?
Oh.
Did I really have one? Patricia?
Oh, my stick. Sorry. Yours is better than mine, so I don't think it's worth it. But Henry's just been making so many strides. He's starting to pull up. We went to the grandparents' house last week, and like literally we went to the doctor like a week or two ago, and they were like, by the time you come back for 9 months, he needs to be pulling up on things and like cruising. So like basically walking assisted. And we were like, okay, that's this kid. When we went to that appointment, he was still not rolling from back to front because of his big noggin, 85th percentile noggin. He started rolling like the next day, by the way, after we had that appointment. It's so funny. That's always how it happens. You're just like, I'm like concerned about this. And they're like, oh, it's fine. Next day it happens.
Yeah, naturally.
But so we went to the grandparents this past weekend and he like was grabbed onto this thing. And I think it was just the way their coffee table was. It was a lot better than ours. And he like pulled up to his feet all by himself.
Yay.
And then on Sunday we came back and we went to a birthday party for one of our good friends. And I like asked for a kiss and I'm pretty sure basically like gave me a kiss. It was like one of those, oh,
it's so cute though.
But so I've been working with him where I like ask him every day. I'm just like, hey, can I have a kiss? And like sometimes he responds and sometimes he doesn't. But I ask my friends and they're like, yeah, like this is the point where like that starts to happen.
Yeah.
So It's really cool.
That's so exciting. I love
every day it feels like something new.
Something
so
new?
that's the magic of parenthood for sure.
That's so freaking cool. I love that.
So, okay, now let's get to our top 10 gymnastics headlines of the week. This is where we catch you up on the gym stories of the week and give you the gist of what you need to know in our GN top 10. So, number 1, NCAA season is in full swing with all of the women's teams in action last weekend and 9 of the 15 men's teams competing. Florida sits atop the rankings after scoring a 197-725 at home against North Carolina, Temple, and West Virginia. 9 women's teams, 9, have already earned a 197 or higher, with LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, Michigan, Auburn, Missouri, Georgia, and UCLA all achieving the feat this past weekend, in addition to Florida, by the way. Only Mizzou and UCLA competed in week 1. So most of these were the team's first meets of the year, and they went 197 or higher. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like Georgia's, for instance, Georgia's 197. That was the first time, I believe the stat was that was the first time they went in 197 or higher in an opening meet in like 20 years.
That's insanity.
Or something like that. And Georgia was on the road at Ohio State. It wasn't like home cooking. Some of these could be argued home cooking. But we're not going to divulge which ones. But
use your brain.
That being said, I think Georgia's was the most impressive to me for sure.
No, I did not expect them to hit 197 this early.
They looked really, really good. And I don't disclose my bias often, but I will say that as a Georgia grad, I would really like to get back to having top of the line gymnastics team. So,
yeah, when I was a kid and I wanted to do college gymnastics, it was like Georgia and Michigan were at the top.
Yeah.
Top
exactly.
Dogs. No pun
So, top dog in this house. Woo-hoo. That's a video that they've been doing with babies. I don't know. It's on TikTok. So most of these were the team's first meets of the year. On the men's side, Stanford had the highest score of men's opening weekend with a 320.1. If you don't remember, men's programs went to a 4-up, 4-count format last year. So the scores look a lot different now. So I think people are probably still getting used to what is like considered a good score. But that was the top score of the week. Reigning national champion Michigan earned a 308.4. Stanford had all of the top individual scores except on vault, where Caleb Palacio of Springfield earned a 14.5 for his insanely powerful cause 1.5. And I believe Chris is going to edit it beautifully over our screen.
I will.
Yeah, and then the other thing about the men's programs that is even more apparent, like with Michigan earning a 308.4, they were actually like the 4th highest score of like the men's opening weekend. That's with basically none of the top talent. The men's teams basically hold their stars until later in the season and or postseason.
Yeah,
which is a pet peeve, and we're gonna talk about pet peeves today.
Those.
So
yeah, we have a few.
My short skinny on that is, if you want the sport to grow, you should be having your top gymnasts compete on a regular basis. But I know there's pros and cons, blah blah blah. But
depends on the time of the season.
Yeah. Okay, number 2, Carissa.
Headline number 2, history was made at the first session of the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad featuring Oklahoma, LSU, UCLA, and Utah made history by becoming the most watched regular season NCAA gymnastics meet ever on ESPN. And it's just January. The meet had 838,000 viewers, peaking at 1.3 million. That sounds like an
NCAA championship.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I forget what the stats were for NCAAs, but like that peak, it was definitely basically around like the in general the stats for NCAAs last year for the women were in this range. So
yeah, we need to keep that going.
Number 3,
didn't register. Dang it! Sorry,
what'd you say?
I said I didn't register for tickets.
You can still register.
Okay.
And what Chris is talking about is registration for the LA 28 ticket draw is now open. It opened Wednesday, January 14th. This is the first step of the ticket process, and registering requires no purchase or payment. Head to la28.org to register and try to get some Olympic and Paralympic, the Paralympics exist, tickets. So I think you can still register. Basically, like, it's supposed to be at random. It's not supposed to be like on a first come, first serve as far as I understand it, as far as like you register and then basically like they pull random people. This is the Olympic ticketing process is convoluted, but whatever. This is how it's been for a lot of games, but they just like basically randomly pick people and then you get picked to like get tickets in one drop, get tickets in another drop, like blah, blah, blah. So I did register, even though obviously hopefully Gym now will be credentialed again. I registered to hopefully get me and Johnny and our kids some other tickets because, fun fact, as a gymnastics outlet, we get credentialed for gymnastics at the Olympics, but I can't go around to like all the other sports and take up a media spot when I don't cover it. So,
yeah.
So we basically we went and saw beach volleyball last games and stuff. But anyways.
Yeah.
So sign up, hopefully get some tickets. They do try to make a lot of them very affordable. That being said, the gymnastics tickets will absolutely be absurd and sell out basically immediately and be on the resale market for insane numbers. And basically like the locals in the LA area and stuff will get a lot of dips. I think they get the first drop of tickets, which makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like that's fair because you live in the city where where the Olympics are invading your home for weeks.
No, 100%.
So anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, Carissa.
That
number
adds
4.
up for me. Headline number 4. We have our first perfect 10 of the season. Avery Neff earned the flawless mark for her Yurchenko 1.5 on vault during the first session of the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. I was watching another pet peeve. I'm just going to say it. Why can I not see every event that's happening? I'm sorry. I can't.
I just don't get why. I love how we're sprinkling these in, probably because we're going to have to run through the pet peeves.
Yeah.
But the ESPN scorebook and all of that needs to be remodeled. The idea is there, like the thought is there, but it needs to basically run across the bottom. And it should be in basically a 4-box at all times and or a 2-box, just basically depending on what routines are going. So like if there's 4, like there's not 4 routines going on at any time because in a quad meet, they're like basically 2 events are alternating and 2 events are alternating. So it's 2 things at any time. But like one, you should never miss an event. That broadcast missed a ton.
100%.
And you should like, you can have the 2-box, but like, anyways, it just needs to be remodeled. And you could see more of the routines if the scorebug was across the bottom and the video was fully across the thing.
Yeah.
So.
And listen,
anyways.
I'm not saying like maybe not now because we're still trying to grow viewership, but like eventually I do think we should think about for big meets like this going event by event.
Yeah.
Because we missed, there was another routine we missed.
Well, the way it's formatted, it shouldn't be missing any events. That's the broadcast fault. And so that's a operational issue. That's a logistical issue that somebody these things were messing up. But anyways, okay. Number 5, USA Gymnastics announced this week that Brazil and Great Britain will also be sending teams to American Cup. Japan was previously announced. That leaves 4 additional teams to be announced for the March 7th meet in Las Vegas. USA Gymnastics previously announced the format, but in the event directives, there's also details on prize money, and everyone loves to talk about money. So, especially in gymnastics where there is none, but there is a lot of money at the same time. It's such an interesting thing. Here's the skinny. There's a grand total of $14,250 in prize money. The winning mixed team, which will be 2 men, 2 women, will receive $8,000 split between the team members. So if there are 4 team members, each would get $2,000. Second place will receive $3,500, and third place will receive $2,750. So again, it's not like millions of dollars like they get in golf, but it's something.
It is something. It's over Yul Muldaur, Yes. Suspension is officially over, and the Tokyo Olympian and two-time world medalist will compete at the Rocky Mountain Open this weekend in an effort to qualify for Winter Cup. Stay tuned for more from Yul in the coming weeks. Sorry, Yul. I'm just not.
He understands.
I know. He was really sweet about it.
He was.
Thanks,
He was
Yul.
really sweet about it. Speaking of, excuse me. Speaking of the Rocky Mountain Open, this weekend will feature 3 of the 4 Winter Cup qualifier events, including the Ohio State Open, West Point Open, and the previously mentioned RMO. The top 2 non-qualified all-around athletes from each of the competitions will book their tickets to Louisville. So we'll see if Yul said that he's basically working on more watered down clean routines to just be able to qualify in a Winter Cup. And then obviously we'll try to upgrade from there for Winter Cup and on. But yeah.
Headline number 8. Speaking of Winter Cup, 2025 World Team members Patty Hoops, Cameron Nelson, and Brandon Dang will not be competing in Louisville because they have been assigned to compete at the Cottbus World Cup from February 19 to the 22nd. As members of the recent World Team, they are automatically named to the first U.S. men's national team of 2026.
Cool. Let's talk Leos. So UCLA, Clemson, LSU, and Cal all debuted stunning new additions to their collections. What were your favorites from this past weekend? We'll flash up the ones that we just mentioned, and then I'm pretty sure there were others. But so far, I loved all 4 of those. So far this season, I think we are really hitting more than we are missing with the Leos. So
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree on that. Yeah, let us know. Headline number 10, the gymnastics community is mourning the loss of Jim Hartung, who passed away over the weekend. Hartung was a member of the 1980 and 1984 Olympic teams, winning team gold in 84. He competed at Nebraska during college and was a key part of the Huskers' legendary run of national titles from 79 to 83, competing from 79 to 82. He served as an assistant coach at his alma mater for the past 19 years. Jim made an impact on many gymnasts, and the tributes in recent days are a testament to the kind of coach and man he was. He will sorely be missed.
So now that we've given you the rundown on the gym news, we want to go into specific stories that we think need a little bit more attention. I don't know why I never changed the script because usually we just have one thing. But we have some explaining to do, and this week it's gymnastics pet peeves.
Yay!
We'll say part 1 because we had both had decently long lists, and just for the sake of time, I cut ours down to 3 each. But I kind of made them for me, mine are related to basically mostly this past weekend and things that triggered me. But we'll alternate real quick, and basically here's what we'll do. We want, of course, to hear your feedback. So share your pet peeves, even if they're not related to this. But if one of these resonates with you, be like, absolutely. But share your pet peeves, and we are going to alternate ours and basically give your pet peeve, and then we'll give a couple sentences of color commentary on that, why. And then we'll move on. Because it's a pet peeve, and I'm just going to tell you my pet peeve, and I'll explain it a little bit, but it's my pet peeve too. So if it's not your pet peeve, then that's okay. But
exactly, Patricia.
Okay,
you want me to start?
You go.
All right. So my number 1 is that Leos that are uncomfortable for gymnasts is one of my pet peeves. I'll be explaining this with the high neck. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's cute in pictures. Every single gymnast, dang near at least, unclips it in the back. And then you have people being like, why is it unclipped? And then also just some of those Leos that are really stringy in the back. I know just from being a gymnast and a cheerleader, that's so annoying if I don't feel support, So I love the fashion. I think we need to rethink a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's clearly not working if it has to be unclipped. It feels like they're being choked out, basically. And then the stringy thing, LSU had that this past weekend. Their Leo was stunning.
Gorgeous.
The concept was stunning, but the application was missing as far as the strings go, because you can literally see in pictures that we have from our photographer that was there, where it's basically almost flopping, the strings on the back are flopping, and it's not supporting them. And look, us ladies have things that need to be supported so we can compete at the top of our sport. So
yeah. And again, it's usually the top half of things. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of discourse about the size of the bottom of a Leo, but like as a former gymnast, I could tell you that never bothered me. Like that was never, at least for me, that was never an issue. It was always things were uncomfortable here and here because we have such broad shoulders.
Yeah.
So just food for thought for the Leo world.
Food for thought. Mine is not putting the winning score on top of the graphic. So all these teams share these scores every weekend.
Annoying.
And some of them do it right. We're gonna pop up 2 examples. I'm gonna put them in our Google Drive, and Chris is gonna put them up here. One of them I want to say is Cal, and I want to disclose that I love both of these teams. This is not trashing the social media person's work or whatever. But again, application, like it just doesn't make sense. So Cal, I believe, shares these graphics, and a lot of teams do this. This is just the example that I came across, and I was like, this was what inspired me to do pet peeves this week for the podcast. The top score was their score, but they didn't win the meet. They were like, I don't know, they were second, third, whatever. It doesn't matter. They didn't win the meet. You didn't win the meet.
Just
so why are we trolling people?
Put it in the correct order.
It's not correct.
It's like, I get it's a PR thing. Like they're not technically like a news outlet or whatever, and they want to make their team look the best, but it's just like, it's confusing to viewers. And it's also frustrating for us that maybe like Road to Nationals website or something's not updated yet. And we are trying to pull and verify these scores and make sure we have everything right. And then the graphics get really confusing because everybody has themselves as first.
But then, for instance, there are some teams that do it properly, and Michigan State, for instance, does it properly. And so they actually did not win their meet. Michigan won their meet at the second session of Sprouts this past weekend, and they put themselves where they finished. And I can respect that. So, yeah, that's mine.
All right. The next one for me, my number 2 pet peeve, is the beating of a dead horse when something funny or quirky or whatever happens in the gym world. For example, I'm not sure who it is. I'm pretty sure it's someone on Utah with the anatomy test.
It's Ella Zerbies.
Yeah.
Zerbies.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was her. Cool. I love when I'm right. This happened, last season, where she took an anatomy test, like to calm her nerves or whatever, and it went viral. And it was really funny and cool. They mentioned it probably 1,200 times
on the broadcast this past weekend.
Yes. And I'm just like, we get it. It's funny. It's cool. It's quirky. We don't need to keep talking about it. Like, there is so much more to these athletes and so much other fun facts that I'm sure you could go and find. Like, we don't need to beat that dead horse.
Yep.
So yeah, that's just something I literally, the amount of times it was mentioned, I almost had to mute it. I was like, I can't anymore.
Yeah. That's one of my other things. I don't think it's on my list, but like it's basically along the same lines. Like, if you want a sport to basically be treated more, or if you want this sport to be treated more like a mainstream sport and stuff, on one hand, like when something happens and like all these outlets report on it, that's part of the sport getting big, is that if you have like a lot of outlets, they're all going to report on the same thing, and that tells you how big the story is. But that being said, there is the other side of it where if the story is a year old and you're pulling stuff from material from last season, and I've done play-by-play, color commentary, etc. If you're pulling material from last season, like, what are you doing? Go do your work, do your groundwork, and talk to the athletes. You should be interviewing them the week of the meet, interviewing the coaches, and getting new stories and new content to share with the audience, because your audience is going to be like you, Carissa, be like, what? I've like heard this a million times if they're a gymnastics fan, and that can drive viewers away.
Yeah.
So let's put some effort into it. Like, they don't do that.
It's also like annoying because it's like, it's ESPN. It's not a local station.
Oh,
it's
you
not
have
like
the
when I was
resources.
What'd you say?
They have the resources.
They have the resources. I'm sure they have researchers. I'm sure they have anchor assistants. Like, I'm sure they have broadcast assistants. Like, it's not an MMJ. When I did a story on Auburn, when I was in MMJ, I had to go, I had to film, I had to reach out, I had to do everything. Like, that's the same thing with us. And I'm just like, that's where you lose me. Because I'm just like,
even if you don't have all those resources, like at the very least, when I don't have those resources, and when I have called gymnastics meets in the past, here for like not for Gym Now, but when I'm running Gym Now and, representing Gym Now, calling these meets on like Verdi's and stuff, like I have sat there and had conversations the week of, and I've declined opportunities to do those things because if I do not have the time to be able to sit down and talk to some of the athletes and talk to the coaches, I'm not going to call a meet because I'm not going to be able to tell the stories and give it the due that it deserves.
The background.
Yep.
100%.
So,
That's
okay, the next one. What'd you say?
It's an end scene broadcast tangent.
Okay, number 2 for me, calling an athlete an Olympian before they've competed at the Olympics. This is like a technicality that we really like discussed in J school and drove home and stuff, but it was actually sparked by figure skating this past weekend because they named the US figure skating team and they I think it was US figure skating, literally like announced the team and literally put like Olympian on the announcement. The discourse is you are not an Olympian until you have like actually competed at the Olympics. Like you could go do podium training and not compete at the Olympics and like you're not an Olympian. Like as far as like for research, for journalism purposes and stuff, you have to have the cutoff, right?
Yeah.
And so like when everybody's just like Olympian, even when they're going to be fine and they're going to go compete and stuff, I'm just like, you don't earn that moniker until you have earned it.
No.
So that is my pet peeve.
Yeah, I get that. All right, my third and final pet peeve, which might be a hot take. I think it's weird that we don't post or mention scores when a gymnast falls or does bad. Granted, exception always includes an injury. And I don't think you need to put like a really ridiculously messy routine up. But what I will say is it's on the broadcast. People can rewatch it. People are going to know what happened. And it's also like things happen. This is life. And I feel like we make it weirder by like the teams like not posting that score right away. Like I've literally seen teams not post the score, hold it, wait for the next person to go, post that score, and then follow up with the other person's score.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just like, you're not hiding the score. People are watching it. You can look it up. Like, I get it's like a courtesy to the athletes and their mental health maybe, but like also it doesn't need, I feel like we're making it a way bigger deal than it needs to be. Like it's gymnastics, you're going to fall off the beam, you're going to miss a skill. Like, you know what I mean?
That's part of what makes it. If everything was perfect and all the routines were performed well and all these things, then it would be boring and nobody would care about it and it wouldn't be even as popular as it is. But
no, and it's like, it's again that thing of like, you want to be taken seriously, you want to be a big dog sport. Be a big dog sport then. Because in NFL and in basketball, they're doing the replays. They're showing the misses. I mean, we're going to talk about the gymnast who completely missed the vault. That is a prime example of how to take a situation and turn it around. Like it was so like handled so well, so funny. And they didn't try to hide anything. And it's and you have to embrace the mistakes.
Exactly. And who Chris is talking about is Stanford's Summer Gronsky on TikTok. She shared her college debut, which was basically she like slid, like literally launched into her vault and was blocking in a back handspring and literally slid off the vault and still somehow made it look good, but she did not complete the vault. She landed on her bum with pointed toe.
Yes.
But she was just like basically like kind of laughing it off. And that these gymnasts are like that, right? Like they know that this is part of the sport and stuff. And, everybody in the comments was just making fun comments and, really like lifting her up and just probably making her laugh too. And it's just like, it just is what it is. People post their fails all the time and stuff. But like, if you have to embrace that all aspects of the sport. If you want people to love the sport, the reason they're going to love it is because of the highs and the lows
100%.
and the good moments and the drama, because people love drama. And so if you just show all the perfect stuff, people are going to be like, this is boring and I'm going to go find another sport.
Yeah.
So
I think
if
there's
you're trying
a
to make gym fans.
Yeah, I think there's a difference.
Sorry. No, I think
there's You go.
All I was going to say is if like you want to make fans of the sport, 2 things for the team specifically, like put the rankings in the proper order and then like post when like be like so and so got like an X whatever after a fall. That's it.
Yeah.
Move on.
Literally.
Nobody's going to come after you. They're going to be like, oh, that's so sad. Better luck next time. It's okay.
No, and the thing is if it happened and you're worried about the trolls are already there. They're already on the internet. So protect your athletes in a different way, but that's not protecting your athletes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're doing it for, like, mental health and protection, but it's like, no, that's not the right way to do that.
Yep. Okay. My last one, and then I have like a little tiny one, and then we're gonna do our Gymnasts Are People Too and be out of here. Okay, so tiebreakers in regular season are stupid. Okay, it happened this past weekend. LSU and Oklahoma tied at the first session of Sprouts. They, of course, the tiebreaker is you go to 6 routines. So instead of counting 6 up, 5 count, you count all 6 routines, and Oklahoma won, I believe, relatively significantly. There was a lot of discourse about this. LSU's score graphic had both Oklahoma and LSU at the top, which like technically is correct, but they were like, we finished like tied for the top spot. And everybody was just like, just say that you win a tiebreaker. So that's also that you just mentioned. But at the same time, in my opinion, I just don't know about tiebreakers in the regular season. I think it's just reaching, just like in the NFL, for instance, they do go into a 10-minute overtime to try to solve ties in the regular season. But if they're still tied at the end of 10 minutes OT, they tie. But in the postseason, they have to keep playing until they break the tie. So it's a gymnastics meet. It'd be different if the win-loss counted towards the ranking, but it doesn't. So really, we're just spending extra time debating about scores and stuff for like funsies. It doesn't count towards their ranking and stuff. LSU and Oklahoma are currently tied because of their opening score meet. That was the same. So
I have such an evil thought.
What?
In order to break a tie, what if they made the lowest scorers on each team compete that event again?
See, that's the kind of creativity we need in the sport. Like, I think we need flags in gymnastics.
100%.
Like, be like, absolutely not. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, we talked about this. We talked about this with Elite, with Worlds, with the foot, the heel potential out of bounds, and Leanne and stuff, and all this stuff. But even unrelated to that, I think we need like some kind of flag in the sport with the coaches and stuff. But yeah, like something like that would be hilarious because it's fun, it's engaging. It like that keeps everybody in their seat, and they're just like, and people watching and being like, oh crap, we're going to like sudden death. Like they have to both go compete.
Like that's yeah. I don't know.
And the pressure is on. Okay, you got to clip that and share that. I love that.
Yeah, I will.
And then my bonus little tiny thing, taking rankings seriously early season. Okay. Most of the teams, the women's team specifically, just competed this past weekend. There were 20 teams that competed first weekend. And then most of the teams competed this weekend. And so there's like last weekend, for instance, we posted the rankings. There was some interesting teams on those rankings. And like, shout out to them. It's always nice to see yourself like ranked high, even if you're not typically ranked high. But then you get to this week, and then like some teams have only competed once, so their average is like higher than teams that have competed twice. And at some point, by the end of the month, the rankings will level out pretty well, and like it'll be fine once teams have basically all like competed in a few meets. And then of course we go into NQS and all of that and stuff. But early season rankings, especially in all sports really, but especially in gymnastics, pointless. Don't look into them. Yes, we do share them because that's still the rankings, and like it's our job to share them and give you kind of a status update on things, but just don't think about it too much.
Yeah, don't think too hard.
It's not that serious.
No,
but
not that.
Okay, so we can do a second one of these because there are plenty more. If you like this, let us know your pet peeves, and let us know if you would like us to do a part 2. I have a list a mile long, and Carissa, I definitely cut some of Carissa's. So
yeah.
Okay,
we be pet peeving.
I just like think about them and write them down. Finally, let's transition to our last segment of the episode where we get to dive into more pop culture, real life headlines in the gym world, and Gymnasts Are People Too. And Carissa, I will let you take this one.
All right. So our Gymnasts Are People Too story this week is Arizona senior Emma Strom had a very special person comment commentating her beam routine in the Gym Cats win over Washington last weekend. The summary of this all, the gist, is that the commentator was none other than her mom, Michelle. The moment was shared on social media with Michelle saying that being a parent of an athlete is nerve-wracking enough. Adding in the lights, camera, commentating on ESPN, and your daughter on beam, now that's next level nerves. As a child whose dad had to leave the room whenever I was on balance beam at any competition, including state and everything else, I don't know how she did that. Like, I literally don't know how she did that.
Whenever
And
I think
the
of parents,
video, we're gonna show you the video, but the video is like, she's like this, and that's exactly like how parents are in the stands.
that's how
like,
Allie Raisman's parents were.
yes,
So
literally.
we
And
will
that's
leave.
like it's such a different type of like, even as a coach, I don't think I get as anxious as parents do.
Oh, I'm sure not. And I look forward to the day when I am like that, but also don't. I do,
Yeah.
but I don't. Parenthood is so
Yeah.
interesting. But
No.
so that's it. We're going to leave y'all with that video. So we're going to sign off. Watch
Yeah.
this video. Enjoy it. Enjoy the special moment. And then we will see you in 2 weeks for our next episode because, like I said, we're going to go to every other week for now. Let Carissa get settled in New York. And yeah.
Everybody say a prayer and find an apartment.
But follow us wherever you get a podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on social. Follow the website. All the things. Support us. And thank you so much for watching. And we will see you soon.
Yes. Love you guys.
Bye.
Mastrama waits. So active on campus as well. President of SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and heavily involved with the Big 12, the lift chair president. Big things ahead for Emma Strong now on the beam.
She's going to start here. Her front kick over to beat jump, beautifully done. Very solid. And a tumbling series by handspring layout. Took a little bit of a wobble there, but handles it, stays on the beam. That's what we're hoping for.
She's able to fight and hang on.
Leap combination, beautiful position. Almost wobbled out of that and just squeezed her whole body to stay on that beam. Going to do her full turn as a wolf turn. Beautifully done. Just needs to find the landing here on the dismount, round off 1.5. And lands that. That was a great routine for Emma. She stayed on that beam. That's exactly what they were looking for her to do since they did have that one faulted routine.
How are you doing over here, Michelle?
I'm just a little nervous here watching this, I'll tell you that.
Wonderful job as an analyst, but you're also a mom over here as well, watching Emma go.
I mean, it's hard to watch, but she stayed on the beam, which is all I care about, and did a really nice job. So super proud of her.